Hi, my name is Oля, and I'm the CEO of Frost Methane. We partner with farmers to turn their waste methane into recurring revenue and keep it out of the atmosphere. Meet Liam. He's a fourth-generation dairyman in Avon, New York. Liam works really hard. He milks the cows, he breeds the cows, he feeds the cows, and everybody's favorite part, dealing with their crap. The manure gets taken out of the barn several times a day and is put in this big pit in the ground. And it sits there until you can use it on the field as fertilizer to grow crops for those same cows. Very circular. The only problem is that during that storage time, lots of methane and other bad gases come out. And this is a huge wasted opportunity because that methane can be captured and turned into really high-value carbon credits. And that's exactly what we do. We help Liam turn his waste methane into money. The way this works is we cover the manure ponds. The manure still goes in and out from a big pipe at the bottom like it used to, but now the tarp captures all of those gases and transports them to our device. Our device transforms methane into CO2 and water by burning it. And because methane is so much more potent than CO2, 25 times, that transformation reduces the warming effect by 90%. There are massive markets that are willing to pay for that transformation. And so farmers can earn $40,000 to $200,000 every year, and we do as well. There are significant co-benefits in addition to the massive revenue. For example, Liam keeps 424,000 gallons of rainwater from going into his manure pond. That is so many trucks that he doesn't have to run back and forth to his field every single year. It also reduces the cost of fertilizer because the manure becomes better fertilizer because all of that ammonia stays in instead of going out into the atmosphere. And the odors get reduced to basically zero. So why hasn't this been done before? Before Frost Methane, nobody has come up with the right tech, created the business model, and enabled market access all in an integrated way. You can't just drop a flare on a farm and walk away. We've solved this puzzle by addressing the needs of every stakeholder. Where previous flares have failed, we have skin in the game to keep our flares running. We install our best-in-class equipment and maintain it with super high uptime. Number two, we leverage the New York grants. They pay for 80% of the project, but the farmer doesn't need to pay for the other 20%. We actually invest it, so it's free to the farmer. And number three, we navigate the carbon market complexity and essentially become a broker for the farmer and write them a check every year. So the bottom line is that comes at no cost to the farmer, and we and them split six-figure revenue from the carbon markets every single year. Our innovation is twofold. First, on the business side, we don't sell the hardware. We sell the carbon credits. We actually install our equipment $150,000 value on the farm for free. We sign a 10-year contract to collect, destroy, and monetize the methane. And that means that the farmer can earn $40,000 to $200,000 every year with us. On the hardware innovation, we have patented best-in-class equipment that essentially mints the carbon credits. We have an exquisite monitoring system. We have automatic adjustment to different flow rates and gas compositions, and real-time alerts. What this means in practice is that we can destroy twice as much methane, and that means twice as much revenue. Here's a data snapshot from Liam's actual installation, right? We have this real-time data, and we use it to analyze to see if there's any anomalies, right? We have excellent algorithms for this, and sometimes those algorithms catch visiting raccoons. So what could Liam have done instead of working with us? Well, he could have done nothing. That's the status quo, missing out on all that revenue and co-benefits. Anaerobic digesters are simply too expensive at his scale, and he's got 1,600 cows. Liam has tried previous flares before, and here's a photo of his actual failed flare. Our equipment lasts. Frost Methane essentially unlocks a new tier of farms that can now participate in the carbon economy. So Liam turns his pile of manure into essentially a new F-150 truck every year, and the equivalent impact of 25 acres of solar panels. That is land that can be used for farming. There are 3,451 dairy farms in the US just like Liam's. Those are ones that are too small for biodigesters, but plenty big for us. There's an additional 5,000 farms of hog and beef with the same characteristics. And because each farm is between $1 and $2 million in lifetime revenue, we don't need to get so many of them in order to be wildly successful. All in all, it's a $1.6 billion CM for just livestock, just in the US. There are multiple stable and growing carbon markets, and New York farms can actually participate in 4 of them. You'll notice that none of these are federally regulated, and so there's no change, there's been no impact from the changing federal administrations. 18 months ago, before Grow New York, we decided that New York was our beachhead market. We've developed relationships with ag and markets that administer a $24 million annual grant program. We've collaborated with Cornell Pro Dairy. We've gone through 2 Rev Ithaca manufacturing cycles, and with that awesome program, we've gotten introduced to many manufacturers in the region, and we picked AccuFab as our manufacturer of choice. Actually, the second sub-assembly they produced for us has arrived in our office just 2 weeks ago. We signed a 10-year contract with Liam in the previous slide, and because there's 421 dairy farms in New York State in that sweet spot, we hired Aaron to be our operation manager right here in New York. Our regional visit was phenomenal. Between me and Angela, we spent 2 full weeks in the region. We visited our contractors, we visited the manufacturers, soil and water conservation districts. We visited many farms, both by ourselves, with DFA, and with the large carbon credit purchasers, and we were delighted when the farms had already heard of us. I dropped by a farm cold, and they were like, oh, you're the ones providing the equipment for free. We are taking off, and we are here to stay. Because each installation provides revenue for 10 years, which we reinvest into other installations, there's a snowball effect. And so with a $1 million infusion, we can install 26 farms by 2030 in the region. That means $21 million to the pockets of farmers, $5 million in fertilizer costs that don't have to purchase anymore. Those installs aren't going to install themselves, and so we're providing 10 high-quality jobs and 59 indirect jobs, and we'd expand on the manufacturing that we're already doing in the region. Importantly, this would unlock project finance for us. This reduces our risk such that we can essentially get a bank loan and aren't limited by our balance sheet for further growth. For every dollar the state of New York invests, New York farmers get 26 back. And we would mitigate 1.5 million tons of CO2. That is a $300 million social cost of carbon. Our traction is phenomenal. We have 3 operating sites. We went from 1 to 3,600 cows manure under management in 1 year. We have a paid pilot with Danone. We have proposals out to farms and dairy co-ops. And we just now got a 7-figure deal for just one of our farms for 5 years. So you do the math. Our team is absolutely phenomenal. We have an all-star team of engineers that have track record of devices that last in super harsh conditions. Their stuff is deployed in a SpaceX rocket in Antarctica, even in a nuclear reactor. Angela, who you're going to meet in just a few minutes, is our business commercialization superstar. She listens to all the stakeholders and figures out the right way for everybody to participate in so that everybody is all in. But where we really shine is our collaboration and our dedication to our mission. I've been in climate tech for a really long time, and there's so few levers like this. I've seen billion-dollar programs that had less impact in a decade than we did in just the last few months. Our traction is compounding because we reinvest all of our revenue into further installation and tech development, and you can see this exponential growth both in revenue and in CO2 impact. We are asking for $1 million because we know exactly what to do with it. With $1 million, we can install on 20 to 30 farms in this region and earn between $4 and $10 million every single year in carbon credits to be split between us and New York farmers, and that is just the beginning. Thank you.